morning to you and Merry Christmas Eve. Thank you for spending the morning with us, obviously for a good cause, warning South Africans against these cyber fraud schemes and scams that we're seeing so prevalent. So what are some of the most common scams around this time?
Sure. I think a big one for us for this time of year is holiday accommodation scams. So the scammer would put up pictures to a beautiful holiday flat or holiday home in a popular coastal village usually, and ask for a deposit to secure it. And once the money's paid, all communication stops, or worst case scenario, you and your family show up and the property doesn't actually exist. We also see a variant of this with job scams where someone purports to be a restaurant or even a government agency advertising hundreds of jobs, and then they ask for an application fee. And once that fee is received, they disappear.
Yeah. I mean, to unsuspecting consumers, how can they make sure, double check before making any transfer of money whatsoever?
Sure. I think the easiest thing to do is just to keep an eye out for those red flags. If the property is advertised at a suspiciously low price, so if it's too good to be true, it usually is. I think there's also a couple of red flags in that the business would use a Gmail address, and they'll even put a description in to say Hermanus 6 sleeper, so they can keep track of the scam in their own heads. And then look out for stock photos or cropped photos where a watermark might have been removed. You can obviously also go on Google Maps, look at the address. Does it actually match the description or the images that's used in the ads? And even give your local tourism board just a quick call to see if they know about the property and whether it is legitimate.
Yeah, that's some good tips right there that I think we should all be aware of, not just during the festive season, I think throughout the year. But I want to talk about, pyramid schemes at this time. We know that, it's been a hard year for so many people, some losing their jobs, having to go through salary cuts. And we know we're preparing for January so that parents can make due with, paying for school fees and uniforms, etc. How common are pyramid schemes at this time? Getting that random email or even a WhatsApp text saying, hey, I could give you a tip or two on how to triple your money in perhaps, let's say, 3 days?
Yeah, that's actually very common, especially on social media, that I think there are a lot less safeguards. And again, I think it's just to always be suspicious. You're not going to pay somebody. Well, I've seen a lot of, or the latest scam is to actually pay money in order to receive a loan. If you're loaning money, you're not going to be required to spend it. If somebody has millions to give you, they're not going to need your 1,000 Rand deposit or contact you out of the blue. So always be careful with that. Always be suspicious. And I think do your due diligence, because these scams are not super sophisticated. They know people are desperate and they try and take advantage. So always be aware there are legitimate opportunities out there, but do your research. They're not going to come to you.
Absolutely, and I appreciate you speaking to us about this. Very, very important information being shared. Estelle, Nagel, thank you so much for your time. The brand marketing manager from Gumtree.